Well, I'm going to catch up what I did in the last video that is only published on my Rumble channel. I installed the MoFo RC big block motor, and this is a high torque motor that's really, it's got a lot of power. It does not, however, have a lot of speed, so in the case of this, I tried to put a crawler motor that's really good into a race car that I'm trying to build. And it just didn't have the speed that I wanted it to. With the 24th tooth pinion, it ran just about a mile per hour faster than a Samix did with the stock gearing. So what I've done is I pulled the stock gear off my Samix motor, and I had to pull the heat sinks off it temporarily, and I have thrown that 20 tooth gear that used to be on my burned up, I can't remember the name. Anyway, it was the MoFo motor that I toasted in 5 minutes, and that was really sad because I did that to it. Didn't need to happen, but I wasn't careful with the heat. So this time I'll be more careful and not overrun it as far as temps go. But I think the Samix motors are way faster than a stock motor. In fact, about 25% over a stock motor. The buzzsaw, that's what I was trying to think of. There's so many motors now. But I don't think it's faster than the buzzsaw. But it'll get me, I believe, to about 22 miles an hour. And that's about a third faster than I was running before. The goal is eventually between 30 and hopefully exceeding 40. And that'd be a pretty fast rig. I do have parts on the way that will allow me to do that. Hopefully I'll be able to run some big brushless motors on 3S if necessary to claim the record. So I do know at 13 miles per hour, which is about half the speed I ran it before, where I used to kind of have trouble controlling it, it was great now. No issues. And I may have to recenter the steering servo, but that's not really a problem. Tonight what I'm going to do is put this motor in. You will notice that I was only able to put one screw in on this side right here, and the reason for that is it's a stock sized motor, and this is for a big block. This is this motor plate, and only one hole at a time can actually be visible because the stock screw holes on the motor just aren't wide enough in this application. I could probably drill one, but maybe not. I don't think it'd help. So anyway, I'm going to put it in with only one screw holding that motor in. It'll be good for a few runs before it slips away and I start grinding gears. But here goes. I'm going to get a speed on it, and then we'll take it outside. Alright, I temporarily have the Samix motor put in, waiting for the BAM motor to be powered, and just still waiting for that ESC. But for now, I have the Samix motor that's dramatically overgeared. It's sitting on gladiator links now on the rear. Still have the deadbolt up front. I just stretched it out because it was popping wheelies before. I think it needed it. Plus, I think it looks cool. I don't know that it'll be more stable or not. That remains to be seen. That's why we test. But I do know that I got quite a bit more wheel speed than I had with the high torque big block. Also, the front drive shaft has been taken out because I still have plastic gears in the front axle, and I don't want to blow those, and it's not necessary for top speed run on asphalt to be four-wheel drive. That will go back together for when it's a sand drag car. But one thing I did notice here in the short amount of testing that I did, I do get a little bit of tire swell, and we'll put this on the speed checker here momentarily and find out what kind of wheel speed I'm getting. But watch this. Not dramatic, but it is a bit of swell. I think scramblers would be worse because they're softer tire. The ones I have here, the Mud Slingers, they have a bit stronger sidewall, and those larger tread blocks kind of keep the tread from expanding outward. If I need to, these treads are conveniently already cut through the middle, and if I need to, I can put something around this, maybe a rubber band or perhaps fishing line, just wrap it so that the tire won't balloon on me if it really gets spinning fast. So I don't want these things to fly apart at speed, because if that happens, my speed runs over. So what we'll do now is throw this on the wheel dyno and find out what kind of rear wheel speed this is actually achieving. Let me get some things out of the way here to make room for it. And the way to test it, once again, on this wheel speed checker, if I move this wheel, this one also turns. They're connected together. They can't move apart. These are the two rollers right here that measure wheel speed. Either one of them is fine. These just keep a mini Z from flying off the dyno. So let's find out what kind of wheel speed we're getting out of it now. .2631. So 31 kilometers per hour. I'll figure out what that is in miles per hour and get right back to you. Well, since I don't want to do the math, Google says 19.263 miles per hour. And that's about roughly 2/3 of the way to 30. So I'm going to take it outside, do a speed run, and just see how stable it is. The other thing I'm going to do is not go full beans on the throttle. I'm going to let it ramp up, and then I'll make sure that it gets a top speed run if the car's stable enough to do that. But I'm not going to jam the throttle on while it's still at low speed. I have 4 heat sinks hanging on the side of the motor, and I just super glue them on because you can pop them right off. It's not a big deal. But I've got 1, 2, 3. I left the hole open so it could breathe, and then I've got one on the back side as well. I oriented these fins horizontally and the backside vertically because why not? Seemed okay. But I may throw one more on the back. Well, I don't know if it'll fit, but I'll try it. Then we'll take it outside. It is 10:30 at night, and I'm going to try a couple passes here just to see how it handles at 2/3 of the world record speed. I think I can live with that. Try to do a pass by here. And one more time by. That's doing real well. No instability. Basically 20 miles an hour. I'm going to call that good. That's a successful test. And I'm not going to burn this motor up like I did the last one by running it too long, but this is very stable at speed. It even had to transition these cracks in the pavement, and it didn't really do much to it. It just soaked them up, kept going. So I think this is a good chassis, and I already have the stability issues I believe solved that took Bulgare's car out of the competition at 30. But you know, again, another 10 miles an hour is a big deal. I'm only 2/3 of the way there, and force increases with the square of the speed, so I'm going to be dealing with a lot more forces. But this is a stable rig, and I'll probably be doing my speed run on a perfectly flat surface, like hopefully a freshly paved or asphalted parking lot. That's all for tonight. This is a successful test. The next time you see this, I'm going to be putting that MoFo BAM motor in there with a big gear and 2S LiPo, and we'll see if it can't claim the SCX 24 land speed record.